All right, this is the last thing that I'm going to talk about. I said I'll talk about it. I forgot to include it in the last two videos, but so I made a mistake last week. um, is it 30 minutes? Yeah. Let's see what 15 minutes looks like. Yeah, cool. All right, so look how precise price is. So basically, what I did right is I knew that this was a draw on liquidity, previous day's low. After we, came up here and did what we needed to do up here. So basically, price is trading from the fair value gap to sell side liquidity. So premium fair value gap to discount liquidity pool. Okay. What I did was once price got in here and I saw this range get balanced, I was in a lower time frame, and I think it was just because I was antsy. I was just waking up, and I've noticed that it's good for me to give myself at least 30 minutes to an hour before I actually take entries upon waking up. I don't know why, but that's kind of been the optimal routine for me to just kind of relax and make sure that I'm completely aware before I make any moves. But I woke up, I saw this, I was on a call with Landon, and I took this trade right away. What I should have saw was, of course we did take liquidity from this high here, from these highs. But we kind of had an equal high liquidity pool here. So basically, if we measure this range from here to here, right? I guess you could say that's equilibrium, but then if we come to the overall range, which is up here, at these highs, I'm basically shorting at a discount of the range, and I'm shorting with a higher time frame fair value gap above, right? I'm not saying that those scenarios will never ever work, but to cancel out any gray area, right, I should not be taking it straight. Now the buys can be explained here, but I'm not even saying that I should have taken buys. I should have just stayed out of this trade, which I'm already in up here, but I was trying to scale in. I don't know why, but I was seeing a sweep of liquidity, a fair swing. I was seeing a fair value gap here, and price just blew right past it. But now looking at it in hindsight, we have this order block created here. We have the range completely balanced, right? So short-term low taken, intermediate-term low created, and we expect another short-term low. Price expands, right? Here's another true order block, okay? Right, and here's the fair value gap. See that? So market structural shift, fair value gap, price taps into the fair value gap, and then it buys up. So we buy up, and then this here is that 30-minute, 15-minute fair value gap that price pushed into right here. See how precise this is? Look at that. Bingo. Right, so this honestly should have been a spot on short entry. I mean, that's beautiful. Only reason I didn't necessarily consider this was because we had equal highs, and price was so sporadic until I just I stayed out of it. But in hindsight, of course, it looks beautiful. I would say the key to this was that we had a breaker here. This is a breaker, right? And then price sweeps this buy side liquidity. So ultimately, what your eyes should see is up, sweep, and then displacement, right? So we know that this area is going to be highly probable, especially if it has a fair value gap, which it does. And then price pushes right inside of it, right? And then we can let's take Fibonacci extension and see from this high to here, right? Look where price comes, right to 62%. Boom. Beautiful, isn't it? Right. So what I like to do, guys, is when I make errors like that, I'll actually go back and I'll play the chart back, right? I'll relive that moment, and from my understanding, it's just me training the brain to respond differently, right? I'm recreating that. I don't know. I guess that code in the brain. So yeah, that's all I got for this week. I think next week we should run into a ton of beautiful opportunities. Of course we got this. You know, if anybody has questions about what a liquidity void is, this is your liquidity void, right? It's just one side of delivery. So expect price to at least feel at least 50% of this here, right? But this is this is a liquidity void, right? It's the same nature as a fair value gap, and I think we push into a higher time frame. Yeah. It may dig down to this one, but it's the same nature as a fair value gap. The only difference is that it's basically a series of consistent fair value gaps. I guess if we had to place a definition to it. All right, so that's all I got.